Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing what is my personal favorite FP Journe model. Originally launched in 2012, this is the Chronomètre Optimum. So named because it is the optimized chronometer. It is the most accurate mechanical watch Francois-Paul Journe knows how to make. The watch is available in two sizes, 40 and 42 millimeters. This is the larger of the two, 42 millimeters in diameter in platinum with a white gold dial. The watch is 10 millimeters thick and from lug tip to lug tip, 51.9 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see the watch is wall to wall. It wears broad across my wrist. If your wrist is smaller than mine, go with the 40 millimeter. If your wrist is my size or larger, you can wear the 42. Both versions are thin, 10 millimeters thick. It will slide under a cuff, especially with that dramatically sloped and domed bezel. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see that the strap is a Journe Rousseau, which is a Parisian strap maker that makes the OEM or factory Journe straps. We just like Journe Rousseau over the OEM because there are more color options, and we think this lovely aqua blue flatters the watch. So the exact same strap, the exact same spec, the exact same quality, large symmetrical rectangular scales on the top, a very expensive cut of alligator leather. There is a folded edge, a monotone stitch, and you can see on the bottom, as with the Journe factory straps, there's small round scale gator on the bottom. The idea has always been with double gator, a more durable, longer lasting strap at the cost of a few $100 extra in price. A watch like this deserves the best strap. Taking a quick look at the buckle, it's platinum to match the watch, and you can see it has some internal marks that relate to the material as well as the origin of the piece. And Journe makes cases, clasps, and bracelets, as well as dials and movements in-house. Now, taking a quick look at the case, you can see adjacent that the spring bars here are curved, so the lugs can be drilled fairly close to the case. That creates less daylight or separation between strap and case, and it also means the watch will wear better on slightly smaller wrists than if the lugs are drilled closer to their edge. But you need that curved spring bar to prevent an impediment to the motion of the strap. Now, another feature you have here, pull tabs. So these little pull tabs allow you to use basically your thumbnail to remove the strap from the case for cleaning between the lugs. The case is very familiar to Journe fans. We have a domed case back. We have a domed bezel. Case back and bezel each have a flange. That flange defines the mid case. Everything is polished. The lugs are short, stubby, tapered, and they turn 90 degrees from the mid case to their tips. We have a double dimple knurled crown that is characteristic of Journe watches. All of that giving way to a white gold dial. So everything here that's gray is a white gold disc. Everything that's polished is stainless steel. And then we have blued hands, the classic biomorphic tapered Journe hands for the power reserve indicator and then the hours and minutes. Now, there are two sizes, 40 and 42 millimeters for the Chronomètre Optimum, and there are only two Journe watches that I feel really benefit from the larger case, the Chronomètre Optimum and the Quantième Perpétuel. So the perpetual calendar, which has a lot of information, and the Chronomètre Optimum, which has a lot of scattered subdials. So on the 40 millimeter case, I feel like it's a little bit crowded. With the 42, I feel like it breathes better. Now, what are we looking at? Well, we have here scrolling or sweep seconds. We have the dial side facet of the remontoir, constant force device. Then we have a power reserve indicator. And here's the thing, this manual wind movement has a 70-hour power reserve, but only 45 hours includes operation of the constant force device. So now we turn it over, you could see that what would normally be a deadbeat seconds display on top of the remontoir constant force device turns into scrolling seconds when the watch is running down. So we're kind of on the separation point between 45 and 46 hours. Now I wind everything. You can see that the power reserve indicator advances towards 0, as in 0 hours since fully wound. Every FP Journe watch that is billed as a chronometer or chronomètre features a backward running power reserve indicator reminiscent of a vintage nautical marine chronometer when it was important to wind the watch exactly 24 hours apart. So you needed to know how many hours since the last winding, not how many hours of runtime remaining. Now everything is working as it should be. You want to wind the watch at the same time every day to keep the constant force device running. On the dial side, I now have my scrolling seconds, and on the back, I have my deadbeat seconds, which is linked directly to this linear spring and secondary escapement. So originally invented by watchmaker and instructor Robert Gaffner during the 1940s, the remontoir d'égalité is a constant force device that acts as a buffer between the twin mainspring barrels in series, in this case, and the escapement itself. So the idea is that even as the barrels are highly wound and would cause the watch to gain time, the constant force device meets out 1-second bursts of quantized energy, the exact same amount of energy every time. So when fully wound, the system's not going to run too fast. And for example, after 24 or 36 hours, when it starts to lose torque, it's not going to run slower. Via the constant force device, as long as the remontoir is running, the balance is getting constant force, which results in constant amplitude, which allows for very fine tuning. Now it is adjusted in 6 positions, not the 5 that's standard on the octas. With 6 positions, dial up, dial down, crown right, crown left, crown up, crown down. There is no position in which the inaccuracy of the watch can be swept and hidden, as many 5-position adjusters will do. Now, another thing you've got here is that it's a free-sprung balance. So once adjusted, using variable inertia masses on the balance, it will stay that way regardless of shock, concussion, or motion of the wrist. You can also see that it uses an overcoil hairspring, which centers the mass of the hairspring, so regardless of position, it breathes concentrically and keeps consistent time. So, in summary, here are all the features of this movement that set it apart from a standard Journe timekeeper. Twin barrels in series for more even torque release. The remontoir d'égalité constant force device. We have a double direct impulse titanium natural escapement that is unlubricated, inspired by the Breguet natural escapement of 1802. It has no Swiss lever, and so each wheel, there's 2 of them, impulses the balance exclusively in its direction of travel, either to or fro. So there is no reversal of the inertia by a lever. The reversal is performed entirely by the hairspring, and the impulse is only in the direction of travel and in a tangential manner, which reduces the friction, improves precision, and expands the power reserve. Then we have the free-sprung architecture, the 6-position adjustment, and the overcoil hairspring. That was a mouthful. Now, what else do we have? Well, you can see this is caliber 1510, 44 joules, manual wind, beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It is made of solid gold. Bridges and plates here are 18-karat rose gold, very exclusive. This is something only a handful of brands do. It's also nicely finished, and some components are finished to a higher standard than other Journe watches. You could see that the bridge, or at least the cap to the bridge for the twin escape wheels, has been black polished. The stud holder has been black polished. It's made of steel. All screw heads are black polished steel with chamfered slots in circumference. There's engine turning or perlage on the base plate in at least 2 different sizes. You could see on the edges of the bridges we have mirrored anglage. Across the tops of the bridges we have Côte de Genève. We have satination on the wheels and then solarization on the crown wheel core, as well as the barrels and the ratchet wheels. And then you can see the elements of the remontoir are made of steel, satinated and beveled as necessary, and all of this 30 meters water resistant. It is very, very, very special. That is why it is my favorite FP Journe watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And I'm sure you're wondering, is a platinum watch with a solid white gold dial and a solid rose gold movement, well, hefty? Does it feel its price? Oh yes. Oh yes, it does. Equal measures mass and class. Reach out to me at tmosso at thewatchbox.com.